Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day. We'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go into the charts. So yesterday got this little massive push to the upside and possible rejection up here at the 618 of this impulse to the upside, and now we're starting to see a retracement into a kind of even Steven zone. So a lot of people on their charts drawing these trend lines, you know, trying to figure out where is it going to go. Is it going to break this? Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Not quite sure right yet. In this impulse here to the upside, we haven't really come back to equilibrium just yet. We had these relatively equal lows and we had this massive reaction on it yesterday on the live. Do we start to break beneath that down into the equilibrium range and hit some of these fair value gaps down below at 15K or sub 15K at 19,950 here, or even lower at the 790s and start to test the weekly lows down here at 585? Or do we head up higher and test some weekly high levels? That is the question. We do have some gaps in here that have yet to be recovered, most notably one up here. This is one up at 426 from this impulse to the upside here. Most recently here at 204. There's another gap here, and like an actual gap in trading here on the 5 minute here at 240. And from yesterday's zone down here. Okay. It's kind of some V-shaped, if I ever saw some. I definitely did not expect that from yesterday's play to the upside there that we took. Let's see what we can catch or glean. Let's go into the charts for the news play. There was some building permits thing that looks like it played out already. Something for crude oil. There's a FOMC Waller speaking, an orange folder at 1 my time, which is it's a lunch time for the stock market. Other than that, everything copacetic up to that point. So let's go ahead and throw on the oscillators. What is this, you say? Well, it is momentummaster.info. Link in the description for more. You can scroll down to the features, toggle everything that you see. This is what we look at. Higher time frame, stochastic array, never before seen formula, 7 different time frames of information, the trend cloud, thinning and shifting according to the amount of volume, and the baselines, getting that first sign of reversal before it even knows it wants to reverse. So those are the things we're looking at here. And we got some multiple time frame formulas with that as well for the oscillators here. This is Optima. Optima is that multiple time frame sauce from that lower time frame alignment. All right, and these little green dots with these 5 and these 4 and these 5 tell you that the higher time frame's doing, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's go into the Renko charts for some noise reduction. The settlement line up at 240. We have some pools of liquidity up at that 250 range that also coincides with the fair value gap here at 204, 240. Yeah, those two fair value gaps up above. You have some down below. This will coincide with that idea. 16, the 8 bar is bearish, 16 and 32 bearish. You could sweep all the way down to the 15K region and take out these lows at 1550. So far rejecting. Let's go see. Make sure that this Alright, I edited the adaptive trail stop here because I wanted to make the frequency of when it changed a little less frequent so that it didn't have that weird following one tick at a time. Let me make sure this is all linked up properly. There we go. Now the alerts will be sent. We also got a ATOS linked up here. Link in the description for the ATOS platform as well. This is a footprint chart looking at the delta. If we zoom out here on this ATOS, we can see the value area low at 158. VWAP up at 180. Point of control at 205. That 205 also coincides with that fair value gap. So coming back to the point of control at 205 could be a point of interest. At some point, coming back to that point of control where we created that fair value gap down, that would be up here on the 16 bar where this thick band is. So far the delta coinciding with lower lows, more delta in sell side, negative 2K contracts generated as we dip into the sell side here. Here was some divergence. It's been staying steady, lower lows, more sell side each time. So yesterday was a pretty good day, so we're just taking it easy today. We don't want to experience any of that shenanigans from yesterday. Patience is the factor here. We don't want to have any type of daily bias necessarily. Coming back to that 240 region settlement line for the open to at least come back into that settlement line. That's kind of where we would gravitate back towards. We gravitated back towards that settlement line back here from yesterday, so gravitating back to that 240 region at some point whenever we pivot could be possible. As of this moment, had a lot of fake outs on the 32. I'm glad I wasn't playing the pre-market. Had a lot of drops down here. So now we got a Top Step account linked to this one, so I can actually trade on this if I wanted to. So I can go to the chart trader here and basically open a trade here on this if I wanted to. I could basically just click that. And you could say buy or sell, trading on that. This is on the practice, so I'm going to just try this practice really quick. This does not have an ATM strategy. I don't know how to set this on a toss just yet. We got about 13 minutes for the open here. This is also not this is minis too. So knowing what the how this top step works, we're gonna play around with it a little bit. Possibly taking something on here. Starting to come back above the trend dots on the 30-second and the 1 minute. Going into the open like this though, there were a few days last week where they just peeled out off the cloud into the open, no pivot, just straight off the cloud. We didn't take it because we don't normally take the exact open. We wait for a pivot, and it never pivoted, it just bounced off the cloud. One thing to look at here is the thinning cloud nature on the 1 minute here. It already started to happen on the 30-second, and we're coming back to that 30-second cloud here on the 4 minute, also getting some indecision. You had some previous indecision back here about 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 minutes ago. Some volume stepping up to the plate there, and you're starting to thin this 1 minute cloud and hold it, so possibly could be getting a slight bounce to the upside here into the buy side liquidity. We are currently imbalanced to the tune of 2K in sell side, not as thick as the one we did when we caught that bottom yesterday. That was 8,000 sell side imbalance, and we saw 800 recaptured in sell side, and that was when we dollar costed averaged into the position heavily. Now getting a bunch of buys induced here. Not my cup of tea for where I would like to see a reversal, but not enough contracts for me to be satisfied with that personally. We got 12 minutes. Shout out to everyone here. New to Top Step, so we're going to see how this little Top Step account works. Like, not quite sure how the end of day drawdown, I think it is. It's not, it doesn't factor unrealized or something. Getting that bounce off that 1 minute cloud pre-market. Not really trying to play it though. No pressure. ABC, 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 ABC. So you got basically an ABC and ABC. but it didn't really make a higher C, and now you're kind of making like a B, C. If we take this impulse to where we're at right now with the trend-based fib extension level, go all the way down to here, retracement up to here. Even if we do get a bounce up to the 156 region, we could be coming lower based on just the current momentum down into these regions here. The hour of power for the session would be in this point here. If you make a double top here and you're not making this higher high on the oscillator, you could be making some bearish divergence. Second cloud tapering in a manner here as it rejects off the adaptive on the 30-second here. The adaptive moving average, also a thing here you can read about. Sensitive yet stable moving average, which factors out noise and displays an accurate place where price will experience resistance or return to for support. So that's where we're returning to, and we're not above it, so it is not support yet, so it is providing that resistance, 2 hits to it so far. Kind of like your VWAP, but a little bit stickier. If we go to the ATOS platform, VWAP is up at 178. Seven minutes. Got me some coffee and my mints. I left my mints outside. Dang it. We'll make do. Make do with what you got. Impulse, retrace, continuation. So you could look at this ABC as just an A, this ABC as a B, and then this ABC as the C of a bigger one. So this entire thing could just be an A, B, C, O. Bearish super trend on the 4 minute still holding as of this B wave here, so that's where my insinuation begins. The 236 at 156 will be the confirmation point. Getting that cross down event of the baselines here on the 1 minute alongside the 30-second. Starting to give that fake out to go deeper into the liquidity pools here. Let's go see what the contracts dragged in. 200 in sell side generated in that drop right there. 71 previously on the 2 minutes prior. Coming into these buy side, these longs. Sorry, my eyes are quite dry right now. Three minutes for the open. And 2 minutes. Hey, what's up, Crypto Monster? Thanks for stopping in. Good to see you. So we're just getting an assessment. We currently had some little drop here in ABC down to this region, and then we had this little ABC up to here, and then we have now a possible ABC continuation idea forming. The bearish trend base fib levels at 156 to, if you can't get above that region, basically looking to come down to possibly 15K or lower on the fib, on the math side of things. We're currently looking at the idea of this trend cloud shift here. It broke the cloud going into the open. We don't take the opening plays generally, but now coming to this local impulse 786 region, does it get a reaction going into the open? We got 40 seconds for that. We had this baseline cross down event. These are on our indicator here, the Momentum Master, link in the description. You have this trend cloud and the baselines, the first sign of reversal that we look at for these leading indicator tools. We got this multiple time frame averaged formula to look at the sub 1 minute averaged out. Just eating through that impulse like it didn't exist, and leading into the open in 3, 2, 1. We are open. Let's go see what the contracts drag in here. Stopped out 148 just before the open started. Now starting to ping in solid 200 contracts in buy side. the 2000 in sell side for, imbalance for the session. Starting to come back into that by the looks of it. Starting to get a little bit of that bounce up to some of that buy side up here. Creating a double bottom on this 1 minute, making a higher low on the oscillator, perhaps some bullish divergence forming. Not buying it just yet. Not in a rush, not in a rush. They're generating both sides, the buyers at the top, the sellers at the bottom. They're trying to see which one has the most interest, and then they'll head the direction, the direction with the most interest to grab the most amount of money. Point of control shifted here. Starting to eat into some of the sell side, turning it into buy side here. 300 contracts of buy side induced here. The shorts getting stopped out from down below here, and or inducing longs above this point of control. Could be double bottoming in this region. Getting a green dot flash on the lower time frame alignment on the 1 minute momentum. Starting to get some stopping volume here on the 4 minute. Now coming up to that 236 zone. Does it close with conviction above this 236 or start to reject off this? Looking like it's taking the sellers for a ride, coming back to that VWAP idea at 174. $870, $900 buy side induced here. Now that 2000 session delta and sell side has now become 1000. They've taken 1,000 contracts back on the sell side, turning it into buy side here, coming back above the VWAP, inducing a bunch of longs and or stopping out the shorts to the tune of now 400 in this candle here. A lot of sellers entering and or taking profits on their longs at the value area high at 195. It has now negated the B wave with that little double bottom idea, bullish divergence going into that double bottom. So we're going to delete that real quick. This is now no longer a thing. Negated the 236. Coming back to the fair value gap at 204, We're looking at that on the idea of this pool up here on the Renko charts potentially coming up. They're just ripping it up straight to that level. I don't know why it's kind of making this lag here where I can't zoom out of this chart right now. If it would let me switch to the 16 bar, if you would be so kind to me, please. Gosh darn it. Came back to the adaptive on the 4-minute here. I want this to load, but this chart got frozen. Not a good idea for it to freeze like that. Can't enter a trade if it's frozen, can I? Sorry, I'm gonna close out NinjaTrader really quick and reload it. Don't want to put my login details up on the screen, so bear with me a second here. Just reloading NinjaTrader. Reloading NinjaTrader. Starting to get a rejection off the point of control, which changed to 190 here. Give me a second, just logging in to NinjaTrader again. Coming back for that cloud kiss on the 30-second and the 1 minute after that shift up. Could get a reaction off of the cloud here. Come on, load properly, please. There we go. Accounts loading. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. So, switching this over to the 16 bar. So we have this pool that we were coming back to, the fair value gap. Did we hit it? I was too busy trying to get this ascertained. We did not come to the 204 level. We're coming back to the trend cloud on the 30-second and the 1 minute, super trend holding on the 1 minute. Could get a little bit of a bounce here. I'm going to take it. First trade of the day. Let's see if we can do it. It is linked up across the live, so we're going to just take this trend cloud bounce idea. We're going to basically take this and put it out to the Discord group here in the trade alerts. Do we get this bounce off the super trend / cloud on the 1 minute? Continuation, the cloud in your favor on the 4 minute. 30-second not in your favor there. It just got stopped out. Took a first L with the tight scalper stop. I allow for a reassessment. Do we get that pullback continuation? This rev bar coming back down here. Got that first L, small scalp L. And we don't take the big L's, so that paper cut will not hurt. Just making sure everything is still flat. Okay, good. So the cloud bounce did not make it above the trend dot here on the 30-second. You had this cross down of the baselines here on the 30-second. 1 minute now starting to do that same sauce. 4-minute trend-based fibs holding, not trend-based fibs, the super trend is holding for the bearish nature. If we look at the ATOS here, 2000 back in sell side imbalance, 686 taken 4 minutes ago. Some buy side bought back in. Now they're going back into the sell side to the tune of 300 contracts. Looks like they're playing the seek and destroy button today. We wet the whistle on that with 3 micros. Took a little bit of a $50 hit in the face, but we'll see. 0 for 1 so far. Starting to generate 300 in sell side here. Does it accelerate and hit the lows one more time at 130? 30-second money flying away is starting to abate here. Acceleration broke that super trend on the 1 minute. Shout out to everyone here. 15 points up already. Nice. I think I'm going to open a short here. Rejection on 30. Nice. Yeah, that fast move, false move idea, that was pretty fast. This could be the slow bleed. Point of control came back to VWAP. Basically went up to the value area high. Induced about 1,000 contracts of buy side, now peeling back to the point of control at 140, ripping beneath the point of control, invalidating the entire pivot up idea. If I take this retrace from here to there, coming beneath the 786 of that idea, ripping lower, hit the 886 of this impulse up, coming back above the point of control here. Wait, what the heck? Alright, so that is weird. My ATM acted strange there, and I'm still in it apparently. Alright, so my ATM not working properly here. Or wait, did it trigger like a... What did it do? It says I'm flat now, so okay, good. Gave me the amount to peel off those 2 contracts, and then it moved the stop into profit and had an error. Starting to rip. These baselines have you at hello a lot of the time. Basically, this baseline has you trickling down with the price like water down the mountain, and you're starting to just see this rejection off of that baseline, and you're coming lower. This impulse was weak sauce, and now you're starting to see the first pivot to the downside here. Starting to come beneath this level. You broke the super trend on the 1 minute. You came back to the bearish super trend on the 4 minute, held it. Let's go see what the contracts are dragging in. Still 2K on the session, 147 sell side. Just doing that slow bleed today by the looks of it. Goes up and comes back, goes up and comes back. Let me just make sure my account's flat because that ATM was not the cleanest. We took back about 20 bucks of that loss. So 1 for 2, I would say, because that stopped running to break even and then immediately like errored out. Gotta be quick. Now coming back above the point of control at 140. Let's zoom into the candles here, see what the contracts look like. Now getting the cross-up event of the 30-second. Money stacking on the table here. You had a lower low on the Williams and it was no divergence there yet. Basically going sideways since the opening range here. Trading, consolidating in an idiot box. Have about 13 minutes till the open. We're coming back to the cloud here on the 1 minute, reclaiming it also on the 4. We could take a little bit of a bounce on the idea of that, but it's basically 13. Just came to stop us out there. They're playing a tough game here. Definitely going to hold off now. 1 for 3. Coming back above the super trend here, we could get a rip to the upside here into this buy side. I tried to enter and it immediately reversed on me and then peeled out to the upside. So I was trying to take this money bag here above the cloud here. Not sure why it's not sticking. Booyah. Why don't you hold your trades longer? I'm using a tight stop until I can build a little bit of a cushion. I have different ATM strategies here, like one that's a wider one, but I don't really, I'm trying to catch a burst right now. That's all I'm trying to catch. I'm allowing myself 150 per setup, basically. And then I'll switch if I sense the momentum. Like I could do this wider stop like this. And then this will take profits up in here, for example. Okay, so we're holding the 4-minute cloud here. This is one thing that I took last week when the 4-minute cloud, I was trying to short, and then we were getting above this 4-minute cloud, and I was like, why am I trading against my oscillators here? But we haven't really made it above the cloud on the, what's it called, the 2-minute, or sorry, the 1 and the 30-second and the 1 minute just yet. And the cloud is kind of tapering here, so there is no confluence just yet. But this is just basically an idiot box right here. They're generating both sides. There's indecision on the 4-minute for the last 12 minutes here, eating both sides, now coming beneath the point of control. Can you explain why you bought at these prices? Can I explain it? Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now with this trend cloud here on the 4-minute. If the prices close above this trend cloud here, this bearish trend dot is, ooh, also, I'm looking at this Renko chart. I was looking at us possibly breaking above this 50 SMA on the, what's it called, the 16 bar. We are kind of bearish in the overall tonality of the 32 and the 16, so I'm kind of counter trend trading the downside play right here. But we did have a hit to a lower low here, and we could be inducing sell side because we are 2K in sell side liquidity imbalance, and we're not really, we induced 377 and 175 in the last 4 minutes, and then we didn't go lower. We're kind of holding that point of control, so I'm playing this point of control bounce too. It's kind of multiple ideas at once. So now we're, and then we had this bullish divergence in this money bag on my oscillator here on the 30-second. Played out, but it could have remained, so we're just seeing how it goes. You asked why I didn't have a higher stop. If I was doing that regular trailing style, I would have taken at that 30 tick range, because there's different modes where there's chop suey mode and there's rip to the upside mode, so I have different ATM strategies for each. Try not to be, I try to have a default flat position, so I'm not being like taken for a ride here. Not really convinced right here at this level, actually. It's getting rejected off the 50 SMA. Probably getting that sell-off wick, probably continuing. Getting some lower time frame alignment with this finger up here, sub 1 minute time frame alignment. Green dot also showing momentum to the upside here. We're holding that trend cloud on the 4 minute, creating this indecision yet again above the cloud. Above the cloud indecision, insinuating kind of sell side inducement. Let's go. I'm here for it. Rip it up. Let's go. Go to that 204 gap for me if you could. We'll make it back. Needs to break this bearish super trend at 160. Not really doing it just yet. It's inducing some buys. The VWAP up here at 168. Yes, acceleration, what we like to see. 70 ticks. Let's go. rip it off, peel the one contract off here, and then move my stop to profit. And this is what I use the ATM strategy for, so I don't really, you know, bring emotions to the table. I just let it do its thing. There we go, stop into profit, and that's a winner. So I think that was actually the fourth trade, and then that was half. And so it'll pull back probably and knock me out here, but that is what it is. Locked it in. Now we're basically back to break even. Almost. Started to induce 500 contracts buy side, another rejection off of VWAP, coming back, pulling back to the 50 here. It's just chopping in this range. And this is why you can't be like holding on. It's not ready to pull out yet. But when it does, then this back-tested strategy should hold me in the trade for at least, you know, 100 ticks or more. We're flipping the cloud here on the 30-second. Cloud is now shifting back in the angle here, and you're coming back above that 1 minute cloud. So you're above the 4 minute, above the 1 minute, above the 30-second. We could be seeing continuation rev up here. We can take it again. Let's do it. Okay, needs to hold though. I'm not trying to give back so much. Come on. Induce more sell side and then rip it. Holding that cloud here is what we're looking at. We're going to go ahead and post that idea too. Why am I going long? These are the things. The ordo ab chaos of what I'm looking at. Coming back above the cloud here. 1 minute trend dot's bullish. Can it get above the trend dot, or is it going to continue to reject off here? I'm looking at that. Super trend on the 4 minute still bearish, needs to break above that, and the adaptive there not doing it just yet. Ripping back below the 50 SMA here. Love to see it do sell side, knock out the minis players, and then keep going, and or induce some sells. 122 sell side taken in the last 2 minutes and then revved back up. Bouncing off the 50 SMA on the Renko. Rejecting off the VWAP though. Needs to pull up above the VWAP for me to be loving it. So they give the insinuation of both sides to induce both. And then you look at where they pull back to and create this sell side. Still 2K in sell side imbalance, holding above the, possibly pulling up above that VWAP would be nice to see. We're holding this trend cloud on the 30-second, the 1 minute, the 4 minute. These are the time frames I look at for my Momo. Yes, sirree, Bob. Love to see it rip to the upside mode. We're here for it. Now the hourly has closed. Why is it? Ugh. The algorithms like seek and destroy. Must destroy liquidity. Must destroy liquidity. Must destroy liquidity. Where is the most imbalance in the charts? Must destroy liquidity. Now the algorithm starts to take over here, taking more sell side inducement on the delta, rejection off the VWAP. Can you? So what is it doing more of? Is rejecting and coming back up? I don't know. Oh, acceleration to the downside. Not liking it for this. Oh, ripped my long. Now it's coming back to the point of control. That was a loss. So that was a full stop hit, 150 bucks. Across the accounts. Can make it back. Did they just go sweep the lows and then they're going to Undertaker it up? Let's go see what the ATAS dragged in. So that was 300, and they also triggered a bunch of buys in these candles too. Came back to the point of control, stopped out 410 in sell side, myself included. Now starting to rip it back up. Undertaker mode. Yeah, this is not as clean of a price action I would have liked to see. This is a lot of chop going into the open. It's kind of ugly, actually. So are they coming down to the 15K region then? If it's not long, is it a rejection off VWAP to come back lower? Rejection off the SMA here on the 16 bar. So it came back, swept this pool down below. That's 3 hits to this bottom range here. Kind of rejecting off the cloud here. Could be a C wave lower at this point. Do we try it a second time? Baseline cross-up event on the 32nd. Can this cascade above the cloud and turn this 1 minute up again back above the cloud here? was that their quick liquidity grab prior to the move after inducing some longs and then going and sweeping the longs before they take it in the direction the longs had hoped. Coming back above the 4-minute trend cloud here. There are an awfully lot amount of buys entering in the last 4 minutes that I'm not too keen on, but it's only to the positive level of 100. So overall, there's a lot of sells in here too. Revving up, like it, up 68 ticks, 76. Yes, sir. Revving up here. In trend cloud we trust, my friend. In trend cloud we trust. This 4-minute trend cloud had you at hello. Come on, rip it up. Keep going. There we go. 100 ticks secured. Paid for the loss and then some. All right, we're back in good territory. Revving up more. 100 plus, 150. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's go. We're here for it. Take them sells for a ride. Second contract peeled off. We'll just post that. Boom. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. And then it came back to the 200 SMA on that. Just make sure everything's flat here. And so it's basically, I got 14 bucks profit after my $150 loss. So that was 3 for 6. We're at a 50% rate. Not so good for today, but still green. Green is green. Could come back and pull back to retest here. You had 535 buy side taken.
Fatality.
And so now they come back to the VWAP again to test it, inducing some sells, 70, 140. Let's go ahead and not rush into anything right now, but this baseline cross-up event, you just play cross-up to cross-up, cross-down, starting to bounce off the trend dot. If it's trending, it will bounce off the trend dot here and start to create a trend to the upside. The cross-up event on the 1 minute, possibly clearing this level. Do I want to take a little bit of a bounce play here? Looks like it's pulling back. No. The sells tried to dollar cost average to too tight. I was playing the too tight game. $100, $300 sell side taken here. We'll wait for potential cloud kiss actually. Trying to play the trend dots. Don't normally play the trend dots. I play the cloud kiss idea. So coming back to kiss the cloud here on the 1 minute. The 1 minute cloud acting a little bit inconspicuous here. I don't like the angle of this. It's kind of been going sideways here. Do you come back and kiss and have a reaction at the cloud? You're currently rejecting off of that 4 minute getting a cross down event of the 30-second. Giving it all back, just playing the sideways chop today. It's a sideways barcode festival today. Barcoding it up. Give back everything. Coming back to the adaptive, let's go see if this is a Fibonacci level here. Hold up. $434 sell side taken back, coming back beneath the VWAP. It's just trading point of control, the VWAP. Starting to bounce off that 1 minute cloud, but it's not at a confluence zone. And I already previously got stopped trying to play against it. I'm not going to play against the baselines here. I'll just see what it does at a mathematical level now. Coming down to the 618 of this impulse play. We have yet to recover that gap at 204 and 240 if we're going to go there. There's other gaps down below at 95 and 62. You got gaps on both sides of the equation. We'll likely get them both, but which one is first is the question. So this is your microstructure shift pullback idea. Do you pull back into this region and get a reaction off of these fib levels? Point of control in this region at 155. Coming back to that 50, that pullback level. I'll wait for a second hit. ABC. Do you do a deeper retrace into the 786? Nice. What's up, APV? Yo, yo, yo. Like the the devil mask. So you go down and then you just don't let it phase you, and then you take it again. You can't have this lingering effect from the previous trade, or you miss out. And you can't feel like rage or emotion, or like just gotta go, like detaching from the feelings has been the biggest thing, because it's so quick, you know. You're up and you're down and you're up and you're down and you're up and you're down. You have to just like be a robot. Not let it phase you. It was what it was in this chop. So we're holding this. Point of control is holding. Not buying that single touch though. There was a time last week I missed a single 618 touch, and then I didn't buy this one, and that was it. Is this the single touch, or do we get a double tap confirmation? We're reclaiming the cloud here on the 30-second and the 1 minute after hitting a confluence region of the impulse. I don't know. Scared money don't make no money. I could just do it. Why does it do that like immediately when I hit that? It's just like, I thought I switched to the wider stop one, but it is what it is. 8. I wanted to do the wider stop version, but looks like that one's gonna hit me. Or not. I forgot to switch this 3-pack to the 100 trail stop one. So this cloud bounce idea, this is like a pretty solid play. You get that, you reclaim that cloud, and then boom, 23 ticks up now. Should be positive on the day, but no, that last scalp. I wanted to have the wider one available to me, but coming back above that, $288 buy side induced here above the VWAP. 300. Yep. Getting that acceleration. If I had the wider stop, I would have been decently in a nice potential bounce. Hopefully someone out there took it. So we had this cloud insinuation, 618 retracement bounce, held the cloud on the 32nd. That's where I entered. Boom, took that up, got stopped into profit. Would have been like 50 ticks or so. Still could be holding this trend dot if we're starting to make a trend. 133 sell side taken there. 260 on the candle. All right, tell you what, I'll enter into that with the expectation of going into that fair value gap at 200. And there we go. All right, coming back above that trend cloud and the trend dots now trending, breaking that super trend of the bearish nature, came up to the fair value gap, just paid your boy. Another 100 ticks secured. Booyah. Booyah, booyah, booyah. And stopped me out. As fast as I entered, I was stopped out in profit at 70 ticks. Boom. Now we're up 100 for the day. Whew, across the accounts, that's about 500 bucks. I could call it a day there, really. That was like, what, 1 minute less than? Crazy. There you go. Hopefully you guys were on the right side of the trade as well. We were looking at longs, you didn't see me shorten. Fatality.
Fatality.
So they came up to that fair value gap at 204. Booyah. Continuing. If you got a runner, good on you. Reclaiming this entire pool possibly at 213. Now zone is taken. Attack on the sell side, that 2,000 contract imbalance now coming to 1,000. Now 800 on the session. As they attack that sell side, you would have been able to secure 200 ticks if your stop was a little bit more forgiving than mine was. If you were following the super trend, you would be in the moolah more. Coming back to possibly the settlement line, this poop brown color at 240 over here on the 32. This is the settlement for the day, so we come back to test the settlement and then possibly continue lower. I don't know. We got another fair value gap over at 240. And then until you come back beneath the trend dots, I wouldn't be looking to short it, so please be careful out there. Once again, message up above for that, not entertainment only, but for me, I would not short a gap like this in the trend dot. I would wait for divergence and some break beneath the structure, just like we did catching this coming up with the thinning of the cloud. And this is what the cloud formula is about. You see this 4 minute? The 4 minute never gave you any insinuation of downside. We were always above this trend cloud. You see it? Above the trend cloud. You don't want to short when you're above the trend cloud and it's blue filled with volume. It's telling you something. And so you trade with the trend, and the trend cloud said, let's go up. So we went up. So that is, my friends, how I look at it. Hopefully, Crypto Monster, you saw that, how that theory works out. You know, I don't know in the moment, obviously, what it's going to do. So, like, you know, I'm getting cut up like a lot of other people, but ultimately, this was giving me that conviction of upside. Every time we wicked beneath it, we came back above the trend cloud. And every time we came back above, I was looking at longs, catching this move, because that was insinuating this move inside the cloud. And this 30-second cloud had you at hello here. That's about when I entered this, the first time. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to miss this one touch to the 618 again. And then I saw the cloud hold, and I was like, that's all I need to know. Boom. Instant 100 ticks. Booyah. I mean, and I could stop there. Yesterday was an amazing day. I went through some stuff, but I made $1,000 across the account. So, you know, small gains for me. I'm frugal. I don't need like $1,000 a day. That's unrealistic and unsustainable, especially if you're splitting it up amongst like 5 accounts or whatever. Boom. So let's go see what the contracts dragged in. So we got 400 buy side taken. So with the start of the move, we took out 386 buy side, 403 buy side in the next 2 minutes, 488 buy side, and now we're at negative 850 on the session now from 2K. So we took back about 1,500. Well, now it's going to 900. So about 1,000 sell side we took back. So rip the dreams of the shorts. And this is kind of what the sell side, when you see the session delta negative, it's also a good idea to think about that. Which side are they inducing in the footprints? Boom, and the drift could be occurring. Hopefully you guys caught a nice trade. All right, and we went through some chop to get into the money. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, 4 to go. Okay, so it was also pulled back to the 50 SMA on the Renko. So if you're a Renko player, that 50 SMA pullback after the shift pullback continuation idea was also what I was looking at. I like the Renko charts, but it just doesn't give me like clear. It reduces noise, but then, you know, it numbs what's actually happening. So you have to go off your own narrative rather than look at the momentum like this on the cloud as it's actually appearing. All right, so we're coming back to the trend dot on the 30-second. We're breaking beneath the trend dot, possibly pulling back to the cloud here, getting a watch out for long signal flash on the quantum level as the momentum shifts. Coming back to the trend dot on the 1 minute, possibly bouncing off the channel average here. Not your usual play, but it is where the trend dot is for the 1 minute. Let's go see what type of sell side they're taking back here. Took back 654 sell side contracts, now bringing it over 1,000, now ripping it lower, taking it back to the value area high at 189. As the late Johnny come lately longs with too many minis contracts get devoured. The Johnny come latelys. You were kind of getting some bearish divergence here. I was talking, but there's two peaks here on the oscillator, getting a higher high on here. You got the cross down event of the baselines on the 30-second. Now the 1 minute cascade here. They pinged in about 300 buy side and then took them for a ride here. Now negative 400 sell side taken back to the cloud on the 30-second. Could get another 30-second cloud burst, bounce rather. Do we bounce off the cloud? This is coming back to Super Trend 2 on the 16. Now we're back to 2,000 sell side imbalance, while still, this would be creating some divergence most likely. If we go like this to the candles here, you're making a higher low, and then if you get this sell side up to an equal level in delta while making a higher low, you're inducing more sell side, but also making a higher low on price. So coming back to the VWAP and inducing more sell side in 2K contracts here. Starting to understand the footprints a little bit more. The more time I put into it, the more I understand the ebb and flow of this inducement trap idea. I knew inducement and liquidity from Bitcoin, but looking at the footprints is a different structure and a beast entirely. Seeing how they stab at these pools and induce others. So you're neutral on the 16 and 32 now. You're not bullish or bearish. Had a stab at here. You left the high intact at 230 and that fair value gap as well. You're pulling back to the 50 SMA. Let's go see what it looks like on Momentum Master. Back to the 1 minute cloud. Could be getting that cloud bounce idea. Not trying to take it per se. Just observing right now. So this fair value gap at 204 was reclaimed. It was a little bit too speedy for me to want to long it just yet. Looks like they must have gotten a juicy target that they're coming into right now. Somebody that longed the top perhaps. Who are they going into and where's their sell side point? 500 contracts of sell side coming into the point of control here. The money flying away on Optima here, flying away, flying away, flying away, has you at hello. You don't want to long as this is flying away like that. The aggression is real. Coming back to this, if we take this as to the tippy top and then we go to the deep retrace level, we could be coming into the 786 for this entire impulse up here. just a lot of wick-whacking both sides. It's in seek and destroy mode by the looks of it, so you got to pay yourselves quickly or have an ATM strategy that does that for you, so you don't need to think about it. All right, so you're getting a bunch of sell side induced here into the point of control, beneath the point of control, sweeping this low region. And possibly now you're at 3,000 sell side in for the session now. So this is definitely a divergence because you're making a lower, more sell side. Now you're flipping this 32 bar bearish now. 32 bar is now not in your favor for a long. You're rejecting the 50 SMA on the 50. We could accelerate to the downside now after getting that. This could be a stop hunt rise, rip to the downside. Just putting that out there. You do have those fair value gaps down below. We are hitting that 786. If you're a 786 player, this entire impulse to the upside, this is a 786 retrace event right now. If we start to bounce off this level, which is the point of control and the 4-minute cloud, do we get some sort of bounce here, or are we going to melt through it like butter? Another tap on the 786 here. Point of control at 150. We're at the halfway point for the hour. There was some news, I believe. The FOMC, no, it was some other news. The FOMC guy comes on at lunch. Breaking beneath 786. Starting to hold the baseline here, possibly shifting up. You got the money stack appearing at that 786 level. Do I want to try it? I mean, you got those pools that you hit 3 times. Are we going to break it this time and come lower? 32 bar and 16 bar now bearish. Not sure. Not really feeling it right now. That could have been all she wrote for the longs. The aggressiveness of coming back here was to not allow people to think short, to allow them on the right side of it. You're not getting money stacks lock in here, so there's no conviction to anything to the upside here. If we look at the contracts, just taking more sell side here. Now coming to the 886, this is basically negating this entire impulse from the hour. And that's why you pay yourselves, ladies and gents. And ripping to the past that impulse to the downside here. Yeah, the A, B, C to the upside. A kind of not even giving you any type of bounce whatsoever, so they have a juicy target that they are taking to the sirens of the sea below. They are trying to sink some sailors' ships. And we have 4,000 sell side imbalance for the session as they take 2,000 contracts of sell side to their demise at the value area low at 128. Coming back to this equal low level at 124 perhaps. This is the 4th hit to this level. Shout out to everyone here. Coming back to sweep this unbroken pool that's been stacking of inducement of longs here. Breaking the value area low. We missed this entire move, but it's all good. taking the sell side for a ride here, now at 4,000 negative contracts for the session. The fair value gap, I remind you, I said they might hit both of them. So they hit the 205 here, and then they consolidated for a few minutes and then ripped it down. So if you're playing fair value gap to fair value gap, the next one is at 95. Looks like they're taking it there with conviction, with all the inducement they caused. I just got to make sure my account's flat, because I don't trust my ATM strategy like going flat properly sometimes. And we are ripping to the downside. If you were just playing this 32 going bearish off the 50, you would be in massive gains. This is like a 200-300 tick plus move here. Straight ripping to the downside. 840 sell side taken here as we rip below these lows and take out these pools. So hopefully my dad's getting paid, because he was positioning in a short idea. I mean, overall, the narrative, we haven't tested the weekly lows yet. This is what I was telling my dad off stream. Like, the weekly lows have yet to be tested. We've been doing a lot of bursts to the upside to punish the shorts, but it hasn't been sustainable. We've been making lower highs each time. So technically I should have been looking for shorts, and there's a kind of divergence play up here with the 30-second. You could have played on the 1 minute too. It's all good. We are positive for the day, and that's all you can ask for ever. Coming back to that 95 region. Anyone else catch anything nice? Please share it. I'd love to hear what you're up to. It's interesting talking into the void sometimes. We have the inner dialogue, of course, that we do anyway, but vocalizing it and letting it out is another. Getting a message from somebody. I don't know if he would want me to share it, but it's in Japanese. I'll have to read it later. I'm teaching a guy that's my wife's friend's husband. He was wanting to learn to trade, so I'm kind of teaching him. Let me make sure my trade was good. So that was a good. Okay, so I'm not buying it. No, thank you. They're probably like gonna rip it to that fair value gap at least. They're getting some dollar cost averages out of some trapped players, getting them to buy 100, you know, and then rip them into their sell side some more. Peeled off 1,000 contracts in sell side in that drop there. So down to 106, they took out 1,000 contracts of sell side.
Fatality.
And the market maker shows no mercy. And that is where you could kind of get a little bit of a bounce, actually. This is what we were looking at for a long idea yesterday. Seeing a huge target hit like that at least gives a little bit of a relief bounce, like a freebie. I'm not going to take it right now just because it hasn't hit the fair value gap yet, but the next time it goes down here, I may be so inclined. There's 5K sell side imbalance for the session. So there's basically, they took it up to about 800 contracts with that surge up here. They took it all the way up to almost break even on the session for the delta, and then they took it all the way down 5,000 contracts. So they're eating 5,000 contracts of longs right now. Gobble, gobble, gobble. And of course, some shorts are getting paid alongside them, but for the most part, they have a target in mind that they're eating. So the market maker wins either way. And then you just ride on the back of the dragon if you're in profit and say, don't mind me. Volume on the 4 minute stepped in here on that aggressive shift. That shift on the first 4 minute candle could have been your insinuation as we started to come back to that trend cloud. "30-second holding here, getting some Momo on the lower time frame, quantum time frames of Optima. 1 minute also starting to give you some sauce here, but I'd like to see a lower low into this and create some divergence. So if it goes into this while making a higher low, then I can kind of think possibly about longing here. But you did have this money stack letting you know possibly to get in, but if it's just sideways like it's doing, it hasn't really let any longs breathe yet. So this is just an idiot box for the longs to dollar cost average in my mind, but I could be wrong. I'm just playing it safe after that aggressive rip to the downside. That was massive. 5,000 contracts. Massive. Shout out if you grabbed it. Starting to cross up on the 1 minute perhaps. Getting the green dots. So these sell side were probably shorts, and then they're going to scare them out and then go lower, because this sell side was not any longs because they already pierced the longs here. So these were some shorts that entered, and now they're taking the shorts a bit up, giving that relief bounce from the 107 to 129. That's a decent little scalp if you took it. And the baselines had you at hello. Let's see, what did he say in his message? Time frame, Chichikan. Okay. You're seeing it go up. All right. This was around what? 11:30. So just recently. Interesting. So you're seeing it come down, and it came down. Good. Nice. I'll have to set a shout out after. So rejection off the 30-second cloud and trend dot on the 1 minute. Was this the relief bounce / DCA for the longs to allow somebody to get out? And was it enough for those people to get out, or are they trapped indefinitely in their stubbornness to be liquidated for that divergence play into a lower fair value gap at 95? Are we going for that fair value gap? I don't know. It was a mighty violent rip to the downside, so they could retrace into the shorts as much as they like at this point. They did do a number to the longs. So V-shaped might be coming in order. They're coming right back up to that trend cloud. I took like 8 trades, so I was already kind of like chopped up in the beginning phase of this. I was too eager, and so basically I'm not so eager right now, even though I'm positive for the day, because I just don't want to give it back. So I'm waiting for, like, I don't know what I'm waiting for, but it'd be ideal if it hit the fair value gap, created some divergence. I want some divergence. That's what I want. Divergence, please. So this could reject off this thick cloud on the 30-second and the trend dot on the 1 minute and come back for a double bottom idea. Basically, if there's more shorts entering late, they just peel back into them. By the amount of blue that I'm seeing here, this looks like they could just peel back lower. Wait, I hit it. Okay. That was leg 9. If I think it's pulling back lower, then let's see if we'll put our money where our mouth is and see. Let's go see. Do you create that divergence, rejection off the trend dot or not? Reject off the trend dot or not? That is the question. Looks like it's holding. Not liking that for the idea of coming back into that. You're not getting the money flying away just yet. Holding the trend dot on the 1 minute, no good for my little idea here to reject off of it. Coming back above the trend cloud on the 30-second, gonna get stopped. Okay, give me some breathing room, please. Thank you. Rip beneath the trend dot, please. Rip beneath the trend dot, please. Give me some flying away money and trend dot rippage. Let's go. Dollar cost average long annihilation. Was that all she wrote for the long rip? Rip, 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 rip the dream. Here we go to the downside. For that divergence, go down to the 95 fair value gap, please. There we go, accelerate. You're getting the do not enter longs, watch out longs, it's saying. Rip beneath the trend dot. Going into 250 sell side here, ripping the longs as we projected. Up 35 ticks on my runner. Boom. That is another winner. Up 150 for the session on each account. Stopped my runner. Make sure it's flat. It is flat. It's good. So it gobbled up those guys. And yeah, it gave what it gave, and it could continue lower, but I like neutral flat. I don't like to clench, or I don't like the tension. I like to be kind of zen about everything. So I'll just take what I see in the moment, and then yeah, it is what it is. I see often bigger moves that play out to here, but I'm more concerned about my theories being right than the amount it gives me each time. Plus I did 4 contracts there, so I peeled off 3 into that. So that was like a $60 move, so I'm decent with that. And then look, you had bearish divergence on the oscillator here. You had money flames appearing on the 30-second, and now the money's flying away, flying away, flying away as we come into that lower low of the fair value gap and a higher low on the oscillator here. So we could be creating a bullish divergence too. So that's why I'm not really trying to stay in like a long short, you know what I mean? Could be wrong. It could just rip all the way down to the lower, where we're coming back for the finishing touch of the dollar cost average longs that are hoping for a miracle here, that dollar cost average to their demise, and then they'll go to their liquidation point, and then that's where you can see the market structure shift perhaps. 586 stopped out here at 102. I'd like to see it rip a little bit lower, finish the job on the longs. Let me say fatality, and then possibly look at a possible bounce. We got 8 minutes for the hour to close. This live stream went a little bit faster for me. I don't know about you, but it was faster for me. We took about 9 trades. I believe 4 or 5 were correct. I don't remember, about 50%, but it only mattered the amount that we got in the positive ones, and we were positive for the session. So we'll check the stats, the trade performance later, but proof is in the pudding. Here you go. Those are live accounts as well, not evals. I was talking with somebody today about a lot of these people, like the guru types that try to get you to join their trading group and stuff, or buy their courses, but then they don't show you like real trades. Like they talk about it. They're a lot of talk, but then they don't really put their money where their mouth is. They make most of their money from the course or the trading group. Not trying to spread any like bad vibes or juju, but it's not rude to ask for some proof or some receipts, I think. So coming back to the 95 region, possibly creating some bullish divergence. We're still going to wait for that fair value gap hit at 95. Let's go see the contracts. No reason not to have them up. In that previous 2 minutes, they stopped out another 152 at 100 even. So 152 longs got destroyed there after the previous 586 stops hit from that dollar cost average bounce to the downside. I see this so often where they give the relief a little bit to allow longs to dollar cost average here, and then they say thank you, your liquidation is closer now, boom, and then they go for the liquidation. And so that 152 was somebody's account right there being blown. A few accounts, because it looks like the trades were 3,959, so 3,959 people combining to that amount. And now we're coming back to that fair value gap at 95, and yeah, not getting so much more sells here into this. So they test to see how many more sells they can liquidate at the fair value gap, and then it trades fairly, and then do they start to create that divergence to pull out from there. Shout out to everyone here. Okay, so now getting that bullish divergence crystal form. We have yet to hit it. I'd like to hit it exactly, please. All right. So technically it has recovered the gap at the whole number of 100. And ripping, accelerating slightly faster beneath it. Seeing the sell side, 326 taken there. Coming a little bit lower. There's another S1 projection level at 89 here. So we'll take that bounce. Let's see. Last trade of the day. Can we get some little relief bounce off of their carcasses for the win? Yes, we can. A little bit higher, please. Give me a little bit higher. Just let me lock in some of that. Lock in some of that. Lock in some of that. There you go. And that was the last win for the day, going with 23 minutes into the end of the session. Hopefully you caught some good trades. We were decent for the day, up $200 across the accounts, and this stop loss could go a little bit. I might just close it if it doesn't bounce further from here, but it's only 2 contracts. We could just give it back. It would be break even anyway. We'll just leave it alone, let it do its thing. Trust an ATM. Trust the ATM. It allows the runners to give you something. That's why it's there. You already peeled off 2 in profit, so it paid for everything. So you're good. It's a win. And so you had this bounce off the liquidity here. You have 5,000 sell side taken. The longs were absolutely obliterated with that drop here, so getting a little bit of a bounce off their carcass is not too odd to expect. So that's why we're taking this little bounce off that divergence of the fair value gap. We projected it, we thought it out, it was clear, it was a low-hanging fruit, and we took it.
Fatality.
Now my stop loss moves up into profit, or a little bit more as we shift up. I don't want those wickage to come, the wicked wickages of the west to come get me. Come on, peel off the other one, leave the runner. All right, decent day. Went through some stuff at the beginning with the choppage, but made it back and more. So they just go into the minis, guys, and scare out any over leveraged mini players from being too greedy. And yeah, that's about it. So we're getting some bullish divergence. That's where these money bags are starting to stack at that fair value gap region. We're gonna just post this idea. It's gonna stop us out anyway, but it's all good. Okay. Starting to come back above the trend dot. It's possibly ripping below though. Most likely stop me out here. Not yet. Generating some sell side, -200 in sell side in that last 2 minutes. Most likely shorts, so they could rip into the shorts now if they pull above 102. Needs to pull above 102 in order for me to believe it. Pull above that 118 pool of sell side right there. Then it tells me you're gonna rip into those sells. There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's what we like to see. Rip into the sells, the late Johnny come shortlies, the short come latelies. There we go. Nice. Pull back into that last runner. Now the runner in profit, perfect win. You love to see it, closing out above 200 for the day across the multiple accounts. 149 buy side taken here. That could be these shorts popped and or longs entering. So this is why the stop moves with us into profit, because they come back to knock them out either way. And on that note, ladies and gents, we are at the turn of the hour. We could be seeing that market reversal here, the bullish divergence and the money bag here on the money flow after hitting that fair value gap that we laid out for you from the beginning of the stream. So thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same, bringing the fire, the accuracy, the precision, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.